What's good, everyone? It's Adam from Miami's Mo. Welcome to a brand new video. Today we're gonna go ahead and break down Nicki Minaj's Super Freaky Girl. So the tempo for this one is 133 beats per minute and is recorded in A minor. The song samples Rick James' track Super Freak. And of course, that sample is also used in MC Hammer's You Can't Touch This, and now used in Nicki Minaj's Super Freaky Girl. But we didn't use the sample in this one. We went ahead and redesigned all the sounds from scratch in Logic, minus the drums. So let's go ahead and start off with the intro right over here. This is what it sounds like. All right, so for the chords are pretty much the same over every instrument. It's these chords right over here. We're going from an A minor to an F major to an E minor. And to get a similar sound to the one in the track, I had to use 1, 2, 3, 4 different sort of key type of sounds. So the first one sounds like this on its own. It's a keyboard, an electric piano. And for this one, I'm using Logic's Bright Suitcase preset under the vintage electric piano. For the second sound, this is an organ sound. Same chords. And that's a vintage B3 organ, the Oakland organ over there. And then over here, we have like a synthy keys type of sound. For this, I'm using Alchemy, and I'm using the Bell Keys preset over here with the bright chorus performance. And then on the top part of these notes, there's like this screechy, ghosty lead type of sound. So I went ahead and added this sound right over here. And it's from Alchemy, and the preset is called Dirty House Organ. And it has a lot of movement to it, like the one in the track, except the first chord is held out and then sort of dies off as it plays out. All right, and then last but not least, there was some missing space on the low end. So I went ahead and added in a clean bass over here, just following the root notes of the chord. And for that, I used Logic's ES1 instrument and the deep bass preset with a filter cut off a lot of the top end. One of my favorite basses to use. And then lastly, we get this drum roll right over here. So I got a little bit lazy. I just sampled that straight from the song. And we have the sample right over there. So let's go ahead and just play out all the intro together once again. All right, now let's go ahead and move into the verse. All right, so let's start off with the drums, because pretty much most of the stuff here is drums. So we got our 808. Just follows that classic bass riff from Super Freak. One thing to point out on the 808, once again, if you're working in Logic or any sampler for that matter, you'll have to shape your 808 if it's a little bit long. So I just kind of brought this sort of fade at the end of the sample just to shape it a little bit and make it more punchy. Like without, it'll run too long. All right, next we got the clap. Just on the 2s and 4s. Then we got a kick. Basically follows the 808 pattern, except this little bit right here. It's a little bit of a roll to the next section. Same thing with the 808. This kick you want to be really snappy, because you want the 808 to have sort of the body, and you want the kick just to give you that sort of punch at the top of those hits. So once again, add in a fade at the end of the sample to shape it, and it really gives it that punch that it needs. And helps it cut through the mix. Also, what I did here on the kicks, just so that they don't sort of overlap the 808, I nudged them a little bit off the grid so that the 808 will hit and then the kick will come afterwards, and it just makes them fit together a little bit better. Next up, we got the hi-hats. There's 2 hi-hat patterns. This is it right here, the first one. A simple 2-step pattern with the velocity going up and down every other note, just to give it a little bit more of a ride like this. Then we have a cowbell. Then you have a perk sound. And then we got a couple of crashes. So we have a crash, an open hat, and another open hat, and it sounds like this all together. And then we come into our lead sound that we hear throughout the entire track, and it's this right over here. So the sound right there is not exactly close to the one in the track, but it's fairly close. And to recreate that sound, I use Logic's ES2 synthesizer. I basically use the default setting that load up in ES2. It's basically like a super saw type of sound. And I just played a bit with the envelopes over here just to give it sort of that wobble sound in it. All right, and then layered with that is this piano sound right over here. It sounds like this. All right, and together it kind of plays off each other. Right, so for this sound, I went ahead and used Logic's Steinway Grand Piano. I turned down the velocity so the note sounded a little bit softer. Added in some chorus just to give it more of a softer sound, aside from just the velocity. And then I added in some reverb just to kind of push it in the back a little bit. But other than that, that's pretty much the track right there. Then we have this breakdown over here. It's just like a snare pattern that comes into play. And the clap sort of switches up at the end as well. And the second hi-hat pattern, now that we're here in this section, it looks like this. And then lastly, in this sort of chorus section over here, we're using the same sound, except it's heavily filtered. So it's like very narrow sounding type of sound with some resonance on it as well. And if you notice in the original track, the sound sort of gets a little bit fuller and brighter as it carries through this section. So what I did here was just pull up an instance of Wavy, and as it's playing out this section over here, going from bar 21 to 37, we're adding in some Vivid over here just to give it a little bit more sparkle as it's pulling up like the one in the track itself. So it's very subtle, it's very slow movement, and to get that done, I just used a little bit of automation on that mix knob. So that's pretty much the remake right over there. Let's go ahead and take a listen to it all together. So that right there is the remake to Super Freaky Girl by Nicki Minaj. I will place this Logic session for all of you down below this video. I'll also include a play pack that will include the MIDI stems, the audio stems, and the drum kit as well. You can find all that below the like button. Speaking of the like button, if you did enjoy this video, please drop a like. It does help out the channel. But other than that, if you do have any questions on this, we can go and chat in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something new, and I'll catch you on the next one. Later. Peace.